Hello. I haven't been speaking in English in ages. I think over a year already. And it's almost weird right now to speak English with you. But I was sitting at the end of the year 2022 and I was realizing how crazy my year was and how amazing, like what a blessing it has been through the work I'm doing. I have myself, if you're watching this video, you probably got the links through my newsletter email. So you read that just the biggest dreams that I've been having since 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they all happened in 2022. And what changed for me in 2022 was that I went full in with my business and I decided that the way I was going to earn money was also the way it was going to be through what I love the most doing, which is going back into my body and guiding myself through anything that I am going through at the moment, and that anything, if I am missing anything in my life, if I am blocked somewhere, etc., going back inside and finding where this block is, because whatever we're seeing outside is just a mirror of what's happening inside, right? So going inside and finding the block and unlocking it and freeing the body from these different forms of block. It's a principle of my work, which is emotional release, releasing the body from any emotional trauma. Trauma is, what is a trauma? A trauma is an emotional reaction to something that has happened. May have it been or looked like from the outside like something violent, or may have, or it looked like nothing, but there's been an emotional reaction. And when that emotional reaction cannot, is being created in the body, it's supposed to move through the body and leave the body. And when that cannot leave the body because we are unsafe enough, because we're scared of having it move through you so that it can leave the body. Like, emotions are so powerful. Emotions are what are the source of our action. They are what move us. They are what moves everything in our life. So emotions are so powerful and they are scary. So yeah, that's the base of my work, freeing the body from any emotional block that they might be still stuck inside. And I'm always amazed at how much more I discover and how much has stayed unconscious for a long time just because I didn't have the tool to look at them. So they just like, stayed hiding there. They were still controlling my actions. That those emotions stuck within our tissues, and our tissue use a lot of energy to keep them, right? And so they're there. Our body uses a lot of energy to keep them. Eventually, for some people, they can grow into sickness, they can grow into pain. Um, they have their own energy and they're being mirrored back at us in our life, just the way it functions, right? As I was saying before, anything that you experience in your reality today outside of you is is a mirror of what's happening inside. So this work of going back inside and liberating inside has been amazing for me, has been amazing for me to watch the person I was coaching, the person I had the chance to coach through my work this year. I've had people that had chronic pains since years, like chronic back pain since years. We went through one session, 1.5 hours. And since then, and it was last July, since then, it never came back. We went to see in that storage that I was saying before, in the tissue, what's happening there. Can we free it? We freed it. No more pain. The doctors were saying this is something that she couldn't heal. It was always going to be like that. It happened the same with clients that had hurt themselves, and within 1.5 hours, the pain was gone. So that's like on the body level. What was, yeah, we've had people healing from burnout and not going back into it. This has been my personal story as well. I've gone into so many burnouts, and I just kept going back into the wall, into the wall, into the wall until I realized what are burnouts. I'm burning myself out so that, into activity, so that I don't go inside and look at the pain that's keeping me in action, in movement. Movement isn't always a good thing. Movement can be a way to avoid yourself, and movement can be a way to enter in your power and to help your body heal, to help your body release, free itself from anything that's not good for it. But in our society, we kind of, see movement as a healthy, good thing. No, it is not always. So movement, work, it can all be used as a way to avoid yourself and then end up in a burnout. So yeah, I've had people heal their burnout, not get back to it. That's the most important, and that's the reason why I'm mainly working over 3 to 12 months, so that, because sometimes we free something, and there is a second layer under that is a lot smaller than the first one, but that also needs to be heard, and it doesn't always show up the first time in the first session. One layer needs to be released, and then the body needs to integrate. Wow, okay, that's our new reality. We're not holding so much anymore. We're just holding this. And when the body is ready again, we can release the last part. So that's why I'm working long term, or I have been working long term last year, and I've loved it. I've been so touched to see the way they were mainly women, the way the women that I worked with grew, and some of them went from being really this tiny little girl to these powerful women starting their own projects and entering their power and learning what it means to say your truth, like to say, hey, this is what I want. This is what's important for me. This is what I'm going to create, and then learn to deal with the emotional reactions of that also, because why don't we go into our power? If we go into our power, that means we start taking space. That means we start sharing what's important to us, right? In most of us, there's so much shame linked to saying to the word what's important to us, what matters to us, to saying to the word what our truth is. Like my truth is linked to the body, and is that, if I see someone that's getting sick over and over and over again, I don't think it's just because that person is not eating enough vitamin C, or the person is, should stay warm a lot more. No, I deeply believe that the body speaks, and I deeply believe that the body, through sickness, is telling you, please look at this. It's going to help us grow. It's going to help us feel so much better, like better than before we were sick. It's going to help us really find our place in this world, because we are all, and I deeply believe that, and I see it with every single person that I coach. We are all made, like we all have a different truth that goes through us. We all have a different message. And by message, I mean, maybe for me, message mean it would be communicated through talking, but I have seen, wow, this year has been amazing. I'm so so grateful. And I've seen some artists that have been working with me find their own, how do you call this? Oh, I'm losing the word right now. Their own technique, like their own way to work, like basically channel out of nowhere, not following an outside technique, not just find their own unicity in their work. And I tried for a long time. It happened that it wasn't my message and it wasn't my truth, but I tried for a long time to be an artist and to find my own way of painting, or drawing. And it's so, and we are so many struggling with that. And those women, they went back into their body 1.5 hours. And then they started, like the day after, they started creating, producing, channeling absolutely incredible things. I can't tell you how mind blown I was to see that. I've seen, I've had, I've had a woman that got married this year, and maybe you're seeing this video, and I'm so grateful. Your life has changed so much, and you've been like the work you've been doing with yourself and the courage, because yes, it requires so much courage to do this work with me, not with me, with you. I'm just, I've learned to navigate this. I've learned to navigate the emotions. I've learned to navigate the body, the language of the body. I'm just helping you do the work. You do the work. So it's been so rich. It's been a real quantum leap. Like, wow. Um, and while I was finishing 2022, looking at that and all these dreams happening, coming through for me, all these clients that came to me and that had started their business and that for some reason couldn't get enough client to live from it. They just went into their body and then just went and released their own trauma linked to selling, linked to asking for value, linked to giving value to what they do. The day after, in a coffee shop, out of nowhere, a client. And the day after, someone contacts them that they didn't know. And it's incredible. It's incredible to decide to create your reality from the inside out. And the reason why I've been talking about a lot about traumas in the past is that inside there are a bunch of traumas, but not only. So this work is not only about going and explore your traumas. This work is also about going and explore your power, going and explore your desire. Like really, like we are not used to handle our desire. The reason why I met my husband, who literally is my teenagehood dream, like on every single level. The reason why I met him is because a few months before I met him, I accepted my desire to live a relationship like a stable one. In France, if some of you know France, the relationship, like the love relationship people have, and the image one gives of love relationship in the movies, or even just what I was saying, like my parents, the parents of my friends, like nobody stayed together. There was always betrayal. It's like, I don't know, like a societal pain that people seems to be carrying around. And for me, I just closed, I closed the door to my desires when it came to that, just because it was safer, because I was going to hurt. I was going to hurt so much if I wanted a love relationship. And I was seeing what the reality was. Truth is, when you close, you don't access it anymore. When you close inside, it's not going to come to you outside. So I opened again inside, and it was incredible. I did cry a lot, but not out of pain, out of, oh my God, oh my God. I want that so much for me. And how did I bury that so long and so deeply? And it felt, burying it within me felt like I was becoming hard. When I opened the door, I felt so soft. So my body relaxed and released. And just attracted my desire, and even honestly more than what I just desired, at least more than what I desired consciously, because the door of the desire had been opened. This is my work. This is what I love doing, what I do morning, lunch, evening for myself, what I do every day with other people, and what I want to offer this year, just because in 12 months, so many magical things have happened out of this work. I want you to be able to access it too. I was very clear about one thing for me last year. I wanted to work long term, because before I was always just, people could just book one session with me and that was it. And I wasn't able to see what is kind of like, I was able to see the magic that one session can create, but I wasn't able to see the magic that 3 months can create on someone else. I knew it on me, but I really wanted to experience it with other people. So 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, that's the way you've been able to work with me last year, and you still can. But until the 23rd of Jan, I've decided to give you 3 weeks. It's the year of 3. So I've decided to give you 3 weeks and 3 different options and 3 different ways to work with me if you want to. And so you won't have the next 3 weeks to work with me. You'll have the next 3 weeks to decide if you want to work with me. And then you'll have 5 months or more, depending on the options you take, to actually work with me, because I deeply believe that the body needs time. The body needs so much time. And I'm not, I'm a coach, but I'm not a normal coach. I don't coach with the mind like most coaches do and use a lot of mindset tools. I coach and I work with the body, and the body needs time. The body will only give you what it's ready to give you today. It's only going to open up to you and only going to show you and only going to ask you to please take care of that or that or that thing if the body is ready. So, even though like I want to open you the doors of this work, maybe you will only be ready to start that in March. There are 3 ways, 3 options, 3 ways you can work with me, and that you can book within the next 3 weeks. And there's of course my regular like work, which is 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months, every week or every second week. Contact me if this option interests you. You have all the time in the world to book this option. And when I say 3 months and every week or every second week, it's not just every week or every second week. It's in between every session as well. I'm present and I'm there. That's like, if you want to go full in, it's the best of the best of the best, and your life changes in ways you never imagined before. Like I've had clients that did this, that stopped working for others and ended up having so much more money, so much more time for themselves. Like it just makes no sense. You would think like, I don't work with for others. I should just, like, I don't know if my own business is going to work out. And it did, because if something doesn't work out for you, if something is blocked for you, it's blocked inside of you. That means you have access to the block, and you have the way, like it's within you that you can liberate this. So let me come to it. So the first option is simply, I'm opening again the possibility to buy one session, just one session. I've been doing this in the past year, like I think 2 times last year. Yeah, 2 times last year. I've had a lot of people asking. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to open it for a short time, simply because I just want to go deep, and I didn't want to just have someone come for one session. But hey, those 1 sessions have been incredible. Like for some of the person that took those 1 session, it was just the one little kick they needed to get their business explode. So I'm open to that. I want to give these opportunities sometimes. Truth is, I love to follow you. I love to like be with you on a longer term, because it's so exciting. But hey, this is also exciting. So you'll have the possibility to book 1 session. That's the option 1. You'll have the opportunity to book more sessions, to book 5 sessions for half the price of 1 session, meaning every single session, every single of those 5 sessions will be half this price. And the third formula is really the most wow one, because really I'm doing this right now because I'm in the middle of my celebration of what happened last year. I'm in the middle of my celebration of like, wow, I went from giving every now and then some sessions that were really beautiful and in person, to building an online business and giving sessions to people over like 3, 6, 12 months, seeing them go from this to yeah, I can't contain it in my arms. Seeing them starting to create incredible things, businesses, projects. The last formula, the last option that you can book until the 23rd of January is the possibility to have sessions with me, a group of 8 sessions with me for the price of my sessions when I started working, like over a year ago. It's not gonna come back, this option. This option is like, wow, it's the special beginning of the year. I'm so excited. I want to share it with everyone option. And what's even more exciting is if you work with me already. If you work with me already, then you have a bonus, because not only can you, if you book the third option, the third option are 8 sessions. It's not like if you book the 3 months with me, where it's like sessions, and in between sessions, we have like a constant ongoing communication. Some use it, some don't, but we have the possibility to have a constant ongoing communication, because sometimes we open something that's so big and that just come up again and again and again. I'm here, I'm present. Okay, those 8 sessions, 8 simple sessions, we don't have contact in between. If you already work with me, whenever our 3, 6, 12 months will be over, even if it's next year, okay, those 8 sessions will come on top of it. So when we are done, they will come on top of it. And we will have our ongoing communication happening in between the sessions as well. That's only for the ones that are booking my usual coaching. Okay. You can buy it many times. Like, I know some of you finish 3 months, you finish 6 months, and you're like, I want to start again. And yes, I'm so excited to continue with you. So if you realize that, wow, that would be so cool to add 8, 16, or whatever, how many you want sessions on top of this when we're done, you can. We're not going to be limited on time. And the persons who are not already working with me, you can also book many. Like, you can book 8, you can book 16, you can book more, it's 32 if you want. And for one, you have the next 5 months, okay? And then I will tell you, like, we will communicate, and I will tell you how much time for how many packets you've used, how much time I'm giving you. But definitely more time than you actually need, because I know how long your body needs to grow and evolve. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Like, this really came for me like a couple of days ago, and I just couldn't sleep that night. I just wanted to tell you. You know where to find me. You have my email address. You received the email. I'm going to put it in the link below again. If anyone is watching this video and didn't receive my mail, you can register. I will give you my website as well. You can register to my newsletter. Clearly, well, no, don't register to my newsletter. No, write me personally, because my newsletter is only for French people. But if you write me personally, I will put you in my English newsletter, which is like, it just works differently. And I'm not sure I'm gonna, connect with you often, because my French community has become my focus. But hey, I know you're here, and I whoever came to me last year and decided that they wanted to do this work in English, I was always there. And I'm very, very, very happy to do this work in English too. I just don't have the capacity, the time and energy capacity to communicate everything I communicate in both languages. It's just not possible for me. Like my Instagram posts and my newsletter and etc. Like, I don't have someone that works for me yet. Maybe that's gonna come in the future, but right now it will have to stay in French. reach out if it talks to you, if you're attracted towards one of the options. I'm so excited to share this work with more people, that we grow together. I just love growing with more people. That's the biggest blessing of my 2022 year. Growing with so many other women.